As would be expected, Junior's chart well reflects the major legal jam he finds himself in alongside his dad on account of being sued by Letitia James, Attorney General of New York, for the flagrant criminality that has gone on in the Trump organization over the last decade. Most notable is the Neptune transit from the 9th of legal affairs, locking into his moon by opposition and his Mercury by square. The Mercury being in Sagittarius also links it to legal affairs. All of this is in an intense situation as Neptune moves toward its station in the late part of this year. But at the same time, we notice that Jupiter cycle is not particularly helpful because it's in a square to his Sun and Venus. You can see it here from the spring all the way through into early next year. And then he's on the Uranus opposite itself cycle. It is going on a bit last year and definitely this year. This is a period of great change and often great turbulence, depending, of course, on the context. And the context here is definitely difficult. I even noticed that in the short term, as the suit was filed, Mars transiting through the 12th, a definitely difficult house, at least potentially speaking, again in this context, opposite the Sagittarius planets, at the time in Neptune, but now it's moving toward opposing the Mercury. That's of course a quick transit, but well reflects the stress of the situation. Moving forward, Saturn, which currently isn't doing that much, there's a semi-square to Venus, but it's not that active. Saturn will be moving into Pisces, at which point, at first, it finds the opposition to Saturn, which is not easy, again from the legal house, and then will make its way to squaring the Sagittarius planets and to opposing the moon. All of that from the legal house. Not good at all in this context. And even if he extends this into the middle of the decade, by the time Saturn reaches Aries, then it will lock into a square to his cardinal planets. So lots of runway for this to be painful in the short term and painful in the long term. Something else I should mention that I think is quite symbolic and very interesting is to notice that his Mercury in Sagittarius at 21 degrees 8 minutes, and by way of Sagittarius being a legal sign, immediately connected to that realm, is the place where, of course, we can point to the Neptune stressing it, but it's very interesting to see that Letitia's Saturn is right next to that Mercury, and therefore connects it in the same way to his planets as is the case for his father, who happens to have his moon there and the sun on the other end. And just like for Daddy, what can you say other than couldn't happen to a nicer guy?